Namaste, welcome. My name is Thomas. This is Lighthouse Yoga, Tarot, and Astrology, Outcast Astrology. Today is Wednesday, March 16th. It's just after noon here in Evanston, just north of Chicago. So we're Central Standard Time, and we are looking at stellarium in the southern hemisphere, southern sky, toward the southern hemisphere, I guess you could say. And I'm going to turn off the atmosphere so we can see what's going on with the planets. I'll leave the ground cover for now because there's plenty to see above the horizon. I'll pull up the constellation art so you can get a relative sense of where everything is. And as always, I like to mention to you Western astrologers, if you're not familiar with this, please don't get confused. This is the sidereal presentation of the planets in the signs. So this is where you would find them if you were to actually go outside and look up at the sky. And you can, of course, confirm this for yourself if you look where the constellations are. Right now in the northern hemisphere, it's still winter sky, and you can see Orion, and you'll be able to see where everything is in relationship to those stars. So when you're looking at the planets here, this is their proper physical location. When you're looking at a Western or tropical astrology chart, you're seeing that from about 26 degrees or 27 degrees, we could say, in the past, um, or further in the chart. So right now you can see the sun right there near the head of Pisces. So I'm just going to adjust the frame a little bit so don't get dizzy. So you can see Pisces, and then over here there's Aries, and you've got Uranus there in Aries. Western astrology is going to have Uranus in Taurus. Right? The sun here is in Pisces. And it's a really good example about how it's not fully a sign because the sun, of course, is still in Pisces in the Western tradition. So right now you have the sun in Pisces, and you've got the sun moving through Pisces as we go forward in what's again happening in the physical heavens. And again, if you're looking at the chart, you've got the sun toward the end of Pisces right now. So it's about 26 degrees, 27 degrees. And, given the time of year, it is March 16th, so we are coming up on the vernal equinox, right, the spring equinox. And that spring equinox, right, we can see that the sun is in Pisces. And this is why we say we're in the Piscean age, right? We are in the Piscean age because the sun is moving through the sign of Pisces every year. On the spring equinox, it moves just a tiny bit, about 1/72 of a degree each year. So for every 72 years, you get about 1 degree shift, right? So it goes, approximately 2,600 years to go through a particular sign. And that's why we say, a world age, the Piscean age, is approximately 2,000 years. And that's kind of astrotheology, right? You can confirm that if you look in the Bible, right? They reference these ages, these worlds, and each sort of epoch is about 2,000 years. So this corresponds to this 2,600 year shift, and like this is known as the precession of the equinoxes. So that's a lot of background and not exactly what I wanted to get into today. What I wanted to talk about is what we've got going on right now in the heavens, and I've got to pull up the search bar over here so that we can locate the major player with what's happening right now, which is Neptune. And Neptune is getting all the attention right now, as it should. So right now the sun just is conjunct Neptune. So if this was somebody's chart and you saw this, you would say the sun is essentially conjunct Neptune. If you're looking on a Western chart, you're going to be able to measure the degrees. And this is one of the reasons why I like to use both the Western and the sidereal, because you can get a very, very clear understanding of the aspects, right? From conjunctions to squares to trines and on down to sextiles, right? That those things still hold true, right? Those relationships maintain from a Western chart to what's actually happening in the heavens, right? You can see the trines, you can see the squares, and you can even confirm if you use this program to the extent that one could, right? You'd be able to confirm those degree shifts and their relationship with all of those aspects. Very, very, very defined. So I just want to make mention that the crossover between the systems, I think, is really valuable, especially when you're looking at these conjunctions, when you're looking at these aspects. The big thing right now, though, is these conjunctions, because the sun just crossed over Neptune, and in very short order, we are going to have Mercury coming to conjunct Neptune, Jupiter coming to conjunct Neptune, and then back here, we're going to have also some interesting things going on with Venus and Mars coming into conjunct with Saturn. So all of this is happening within, we could say like the next month, going from March into April, toward the end of April. So kind of a big time. Neptune, ne- gosh, Neptune is, we think of it as the imagination, and the imagination is potentially an amazing thing, right? We can uh, consider the most beautiful, beautiful things in the world, but most of the time we misuse the imagination, and we worry, we create terrible scenarios. And that's something I'm always on guard of in myself, and I have a hard time even making some of these videos, because I'll start a video and I've got my smile on my face, and I'm ready to go, and I'm thinking about, okay, this is kind of exciting, but as I start to look at things, I'm like, oh, this might not work out so well, and what I see is unpleasant, and I always have to check myself, because I wonder if that is, hey, I'm misusing my imagination. I'm considering a dark outcome, right? So I want to say that, and the it's that is glass half full thinking. I understand. I'm putting on my rose-colored glasses, because when push comes to shove, we do use the imagination for the darker side. We do use the imagination for imagining, the what if scenarios, and we all like to pretend, okay, I'm not worried about those things, but if we're really honest, we do worry about those things, and we want to be careful, because again, right now what's happening is the sun just came through, and Neptune conjunct the sun. Neptune still conjunct the sun, right? This is big illusion, right? This is a potential for again, a major misuse of that creative aspect of our psyche, right? The one that can imagine angels and demons, and the one that can choose the best possible outcome, forgiveness, grace, kindness, right, compassion, right, or the one that can say, there's no other way this can be. And I've drawn a such a hard line, based on what I know to be true, right, through my imagination, which again is deceptive, right? So we want to just be really careful, because coming forward now, as I pull up the timestamp here, Jupiter, move this out of the way, so hopefully, move this up here. So as we go forward, we're going to go day by day in time, and we're going to see Jupiter and Mercury start to move. So, pay attention to these crosshairs because that's Neptune still. So you can see them move. You see how Mercury is going to come first, right? I think it was the 23rd, yeah. So Mercury is the mind. Mercury is quickness. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini and Virgo, right? It is exacting. It is fast. It is categorical, right? It is organized. It is precise. Did I say that one already? Virgo is, you know, it's like the intestines, right? That body part that chooses, you know, am I going to keep this for nutrients or is that waste, right? And it knows what's what, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't keep what it doesn't need, right? So Mercury in Gemini, right, is very fast, right? It is speech, it is thinking. So we want to be we want to be really careful with snap judgments, right? Again, not misusing our imagination, because Mercury is going to want to say this or that, right? It's going to want to choose, even though it rules those mutable signs. That mutability is the change, right? This is the process of getting rid of, right, or keeping what we're going to choose, and we don't want to make such, or we want to be cautious that our imagination isn't getting the better of us. So yeah, I heard somebody say you have permission to take the day off work. So shout out to Fiona. I think you probably do have the permission to take the day off work. What is that? The 23rd. Tuesday. I'll take it. And then again, not too much further on, right? We're gonna have, right, Jupiter coming up. There's the moon. So we're gonna have the new moon on the 1st, right? April Fools. Right, just there. Right? It's at like 2 in the morning or something my time. So we're still cruising, right? So I mentioned, this is going into April, right? And I'll jump back and we'll look at Saturn, but this is coming through into April. You're gonna have Jupiter in almost exact conjunction with Neptune. What is that? It's gonna be like, it's like almost an eclipse, right? On the 12th, Jupiter's cruising, right? So Jupiter is expansion, right? And Jupiter is amplifying everything right now, because everything is, around Jupiter, and everything kind of has to go by Jupiter, and they're all kind of hanging out together, and that's, it's big time stuff. I really think so. This is moving through that impulse to, again, overuse the imagination, to think, and again, using the imagination properly in this instance, I really feel would be like, let's have the best party possible. let's have the best bash possible. Let's have the best food. Let's have the best music. Let's get all the people we know who know how to spin records. Let's get all the people we know who know and want to maybe sing a song. Let's get all the people we know who like to dance, who like to bang on the drums. Let's get all the people we know who enjoy to share food, and all of these things, right? This would be the best possible thing to do right now. That's my honest feeling. That we've gone and taken ourselves far too seriously. It's gotten out of hand, right? Wouldn't you agree? It's gotten out of hand. We are taking ourselves far too seriously. This is a misuse of the imagination. Right? All right, I'm backing up. I'm going to stop playing around. Sorry if you're following this closely because that's just mean, Thomas. Right, let me get a sip of water. Okay. All right. No. It's the 17th of March. 16th. Okay. Venus and Mars, right? They're going to start to say goodbye to each other. This is they've been riding together. They've been working together beautifully. They've been cruising. Um, it's been amazing because Mars has kind of gone ahead, and then Venus goes ahead, and Mars jumps ahead, and Venus goes ahead, and it's I I didn't know it was even possible for that to happen. It always occurred to me, that Mars, because it's the planet, it's outside of our orbit. Um, it's always going to be the slower, right? And Venus would just cruise. But this has been such a beautiful time to see Mars and Venus travel together, and I've been trying to observe this from my perch in the morning. Venus in the morning before sunrise is just so beautiful, and Mars has been right there with her. That's been really special. Um, Venus is going to pull away, and because again, Venus is inside our orbit, and she has to stay close to the sun. So Mars is going to be kind of left by his own self to complete his work in Capricorn. So let's watch that. I'm, I hope you can watch this, right? Mars is pulling away. Right now, Mars is right between, or sorry, Venus is right between Mars and Saturn. And let's, what do you want to call it? The 27th, the 28th? Venus conjunct Saturn, conjunct the moon. And yeah, that's all conjunct Mars, right? That's all within like 5 degrees. Give that 5 degrees. That's going to be exciting, right? And then we saw right here's let's get this exact, right? Mars, again, that's almost an eclipse. Mars, Saturn on 4/4. April 4th, Mars conjunct Saturn. Good times, right? In Capricorn. Beautiful times, right? This is going to be an eventful day, right? Something's going to get done, right? Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and Saturn in Capricorn conjunct Mars, really at the end of the sign, right? This is, I think this is big doings, right? And even if you want to put Saturn in Aquarius conjunct Mars, right? This is going to be a special day, right? Because Mars and Saturn get along. Uh, Mars is action and impulse, right? Mars is aggression and get stuff done, assertion and work. Mars is the warrior, and Saturn knows exactly what to do with Mars. Saturn is the teacher. Saturn is the master, and Saturn will instruct Mars and take care of business. So this is what we can expect from that conjunction, right? The energies that blend there. Um, I think this is, to me, this is one of the biggest conjunctions of the year. That I understand. People, what, Jupiter, Neptune, yeah, yes, it's a big deal. you know, there are going to be other aspects, but this is like really one of the last big conjunctions, isn't it? Right? Jupiter, Neptune, this Mars, Saturn, because yeah, you'll have the moon, and you'll have narrowing aspects, but if I'm thinking correctly, if my mind is clear, which, you know, there's always reason for doubt. But Jupiter, Neptune, you know, yeah, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Jupiter, but this Mars, Saturn, I think that's a major one. And until these guys come back around, not a lot of major conjunctions, because once Jupiter passes Neptune, there's not a lot to see until Saturn gets there, right? And that speaks to me, and I guess this is where I'll end the video. That speaks to me. This is something I hadn't considered, so let me speak freely. That this is kind of there's going to be some space, and it feels like maybe there's going to be some steam that's let off before that space. So, you know, stay to your practices as always. Keep breathing. Use your mind for good, right? Imagine the best possible scenario. Be realistic. I think it's important to, you know, to consider that you have your family and your friends taken care of, and in your thoughts, both in, you know, in prayer and in spirit, but also in action. Right? Make sure that you have contingencies and you know, some backup in case of, you know, certain emergencies. Right? You never know when a flood, or you never know when a fire, or you never know when. So I wasn't very long for the Boy Scouts because I have problems with authority. But I do appreciate the motto of be prepared. I do appreciate that notion of, you know, it's good to have certain things taken care of, because we live in a time where there are a lot of people, and sometimes, you know, the help can't get to everybody at the same time. So it's good to be able to help yourself in those interim periods. And so, but imagine, again, imagine for the best, right? Use this Jupiter Neptune energy, and picture the best possible outcomes, because this is what I really think is going to be the make or break deal, right? That, you know, won't really have this kind of aggression and war. We're not really interested in these major fights and battles, right? We're not interested. We're not really having that, and there has to be a way where we just, you know, like I said, you know, dance on these fools' heads. That's the way to do it, right? And, you know, um, dissolve their rigid structures with a hard bass line and a groovy riff. You know, like, come on, get off it. We're here to have a good time. We're here to enjoy the sunshine. We're here to enjoy nature. We're here to enjoy the trees and the birds, and done with all this, you know, all this fussing and fighting, right? All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you think, and uh, keep your eyes open, keep your heart open, and make sure you're breathing.